Hey, what's going on, guys? So, my name is DeMarco, and we are here today. This is Conquering Crypto. Hope we would have a little bit of fun. I'm just going to show people the basics of charting, maybe a little bit of trading info so you guys can see how I do my trading. And if you just bear with me, I'm just going to share the stream a little bit with some other people. You guys are more than welcome to hang out. But most importantly, let's try and have some fun today in the chat. If there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to help. And we're going to go over some live scenarios, and we're going to also check out like what kind of charting works best for you. There's so much in charting that you can figure out when it comes to finding patterns. And once you find the patterns that are right for you to discover, you can start really placing some good orders and making some half decent money, to be honest. So I'm just going to share my stream. Bear with me. I do have a site. It's called Conquering Crypto. It's on Facebook. You're invited. Everybody's invited. Invite your mom and dad for all I care. It's about learning to trade. I'm trying to just get members. Everybody can come in. We can have fun there, and we can discuss uh, trading. We can discuss crypto. We do stocks. I do all types of trading. I do bots. I do forex. I do all types of stuff. I'm also a miner. I don't do this stuff crazy, but I do it a lot, and I like to have fun with it. So I shared my stream, and now I'm actually going to get into just a little bit of charting, just so we can kind of start and people can get a feel. So here's what I wanted to do today. Since a lot of people don't even have the first clue, maybe people know you can draw lines and stuff like that. So I want to just get into the most basic things that you can look for when trying to chart a pattern, okay? So today, I'm just going to pick at random, all right? So as you can see, my TradingView is up. TradingView is the best charting app that I've ever used. There's a desktop app. You can just go on the website and use it. And there's also a really good phone app. The phone app I have, and whenever I'm not home, let me tell you, I'm on that app and I'm using it and I'm making sure all of my stuff is working well. And because from all my portfolios, I'm making sure my trades are right. I'm making sure if any breakouts are happening, I can analyze that. So let's see here. All right, so I'm just going to pick a random chart because I want you to understand that you should be able to do this on any chart that you see. Okay, so if you decide to open up any chart, I want you to be able to look at it and I want you to be able to get an idea of what you can do with the information that you have. Because basically, to a lot of people, I think it just looks like a whole bunch of, mumbo jumbo. It just looks like a whole bunch of pieces that you need to put together. And that's why I like it so much because it's like a puzzle to me. And if you figure the puzzle out, you can make a few bucks. That's what's really exciting. I'm also a big gamer. So, of course, I like to play games. I like to do puzzles. So does my wife. And figuring stuff out is something I like to do. And I figured out that if you can figure this stuff out in certain ways, you can make money from it. And that's what we all want to do here, mostly, right? I do stocks and I do crypto. Today we're just going to focus on crypto for the most part. If anybody does want to see some stock stuff, um, you're more than welcome to see it. Maddie, what's going on, man? He wants me to chart MRX and OMI. Yeah, we'll see about that, man. I can't even get the MRX chart to work properly. But what we will do, because today is just a learning day. Okay, I don't want to get into all my Bitcoin because, man, let me tell you, there's a lot of stuff I'm involved in, and I can't wait to share it with you guys at some point. So for now, we're going to just pick a random chart. I'm just going to go through my list. This is one of my watch lists. It's probably one of the best things you can do is create a watch list. TradingView has a really good watch list system. So right now, we are just going to pick something at random. So I think this is ICP. This is Internet Protocol. All right. I'm going to take all these lines. So look at all this other stuff that I've done in the past. Okay. And I know to a lot of people it just looks crazy. So I'm going to simplify it for you. At least I'm going to try a little bit. Okay. Okay, so this orange bar is an alarm. One of the best things that you can do is set alarms. Okay, if you're worried about where price could go, you want to set alarms. These alarms can help you identify when price reaches a certain area that you identify. When you identify that price area, you can then look at the chart. You can choose from that point on whether you want to buy, sell, maybe do a put, maybe do something long. It's up to you. It's up to your interpretation. That's what I like about charting so much. Everything is your interpretation. And this is my interpretation when I see a chart like this. Now I do want to remove some of this other stuff so there's not too much in the way. I know there's a way for me to get rid of this all just in one shot, but you'll just have to bear with me. All right. So here we are. This is Internet Protocol, or Computer Protocol. You know what? ICP. I don't want to make myself look too silly. ICP crypto. So it's Internet Computer, ICP. And I've checked this out a couple times. I don't know a whole lot about it, but that's not what we're here for today, okay? We're here today so we can actually try and chart this thing, okay? So the first thing we want to do, the first thing I like to do anyway, you'll get used to this stuff and do it faster. When you get acclimated with doing this stuff, you can look at a chart and you can do it way faster. So what I'm doing is I'm just checking out the chart. Okay, there's no lines. I have no lines drawn. So we're going real basic here. Excuse me. So it looks like ICP started. So if you look at the bottom, you can see dates. Okay. So here, if you look at the bottom, so it tells me that on May 10th, that's when ICP started, okay? So I'm not going to see this big curve? I'm not going to use the curve in my charting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go forward. When looking at a chart, there's a lot of time frames, okay? So with TradingView, it has all kinds of time frames. Basically, it's if you were to take a piece of paper, all right, you could imagine, and go in and out with the piece of paper, that's what you're doing with the time frames of charting, okay? So the 30-minute would be close, the day would be far. That's all it is. So you're getting a micro view and a macro view of the same information. That's important because people always ask, well, what should I use? What time frame should I use? And the reality is you should use a bunch of them. I use the 30, the hour, the 6 hour, and the day. Those are my most important. Actually, if you look on the page, you can see 30, hour, 6, and day. Now you can go to all kinds of time frames, whatever works for you. To chart, the 30-minute is my favorite, 30-minute or hour. So we're gonna go down. This does not look like one of the best things I've seen to chart. It looks pretty basic. Remember, when you're looking for this stuff throughout the day and you want to identify something to trade, you want to look for what could be a possible breakout, what could break out bear, what could break out bull, so you can place your orders, place your stop losses, look at what a nice area to get profit and get out. Make your money for the day. You should have goals. You should have all this stuff pre-organized if you want to succeed in charting, doing this more full-time, I should say. So let's get into the actual charting. So the first thing we always do is we chart these lines called trend lines, okay? So right now, ICP, if we want to chart some lines, actually, let's get out a little bit farther. We're going to go into the hour. So we're going to chart some lines, all right? It's real simple. It's real basic. I find it therapeutic, to be honest, man. Oh, my cat's coming to say hi. Say hi to Lil, everybody. Hi, Lil. Okay, so we've got one line down. And then we're going to look at the bottom and we're going to say, well, what makes the most sense for my line, okay? That's right there. So you're basically just laying lines on the top and bottom of the price action areas. So when you see these peaks and valleys, you want to pinpoint them with just a straight line. That's all. Listen, some of this stuff is so easy. And right now you can do it with just simple straight lines. Okay. This is called an inward wedge. Okay. So this is a wedge pattern. In this wedge pattern, Look, my cats are fun. This is great. In this wedge pattern, so what we're looking for, if we were to draw these lines out, okay, we could see that price could be possibly coming to a head. Now, remember, it's only going to do this if price stays within this wedge. If price moves outside of the wedge, just broaden the wedge. Just make new lines. So in other words, if price were to go in, let's say this area, okay, just move your wedge. That's all we're doing for right now is plotting uptrend, downtrend lines, basic lines, because lines and graphing is pretty much the basis to how this stuff works. Okay. So boom, we have our basic. Now this, I don't think this would be considered a broadening wedge. I think this would be considered an inward wedge. There isn't a whole lot of tracking to do with this. This is almost considered to be basic consolidation. It could keep going horizontal. So we're going to move on from ICP. There's not a lot going on. This is not something I would worry about, like trying to scalp or trade. Not at the moment anyway, but again, I wanted to do this at random. I wanted it to seem, I don't have anything planned. I'm just going to random points and I'm just gonna pick stuff, okay? So let's do mask. Great. Okay, so as you can see, I already have some stuff done on mask. As you can see, I have a huge watch list. I have a Facebook group called Conquering Crypto. You can come and join us. Everybody gets approved, and it's about teaching you to learn how to trade. Okay, that's what the channel is for. I made it, I want to say 6 months ago or so. It's got over 100 members, and the whole point is just to get you to learn how to do this stuff. I love doing it. I make a living doing it, and I'm just trying to teach others. Now, there are different patterns. I can't explain to all the patterns in this video. There's triangle patterns. There's head and shoulders patterns. What I see right now with mask, first, let's draw our lines. I don't want to get too overly complex, okay? One line, two line. Now, drawing these two lines it can be a big deal, okay? It gives you an idea of where price is headed. I have a predictions list, and I usually get a lot of my predictions right. I'm very proud of that. And seeing where price is going is one of the best ways to tell what price might go to, okay? So what do we have? What kind of shape do we have? We have a triangle. Triangle is the most common shape in charting. It's also known as a flag. It's also known as a pennant. And there are also areas of bull and bear movement called flag poles. Now we could consider this a flag pole. Okay, so let's, I mean, it's so horizontal and even with our flag, but we could honestly consider this to be our flag pole, and we'll make that in red. Cool. All right. So now this is great because it looks like we actually have a crypto that has a pattern that looks interesting that we might want to trade, okay? Here's what's going on. So you see all this consolidation movement. We have our pattern. What's going to happen, or what we want to happen? We want price to get to a point where it squeezes and pops up or down, okay? Up being bull, down being bear. For those of you that don't understand what that is, in the stock market and in crypto, there's bull and bear. Bull means up, bear means down. It has to do with price movement, okay? The way they have you remember that is, I mean, there's actually a few ways. The bull horns, when it attacks, goes up. When the bear attacks, it slashes down. So that's how I learned. So now let's look at where our pricing goes. So if pricing keeps squeezing inside of this triangle, what we can do, I'm going to just make a rough example. So let's say it bounces in and out. Now I know I've had people ask about support and resistance lines and stuff like that. I'm not going to go over too much of that today. Today, I just want you to learn about lines and how important drawing lines are. So let's say this is hypothetical scenario that this happens with mask, okay? Let's say it bounces around inside this triangle and all of a sudden price breaks through. Okay, we're gonna use that scenario. Price is just broken through. You have an alert set. Let's say you have an alert set outside. Okay, so price just hit that point. What are you looking to do now to make a quick buck off of this because that's what I do. Okay, I scalp this stuff all day long. So let's say price breaks out this alarm. So what you would want to do is you would want to follow the uptrend. So you would want to place your order. Okay, you'd be happy to place your order here. Okay, so we can say this is our order. All right. Okay, so we have our order, and because this is a breakout, this is considered a breakout, by the way. Breakouts are extremely important. Because this is a breakout, what we can do is we want to follow the breakout. So we've placed our order now at 12.66. What we want to do, and there's two ways you can do this, but the best thing to do would be create a stop loss. Now you'd want to create a stop loss somewhere in this area. Okay. And why is a stop loss so important? So let's say you're wrong, okay? That's going to happen a lot when it comes to this charting and trading stuff. Let's say you're wrong about the breakout. We're going to make this nice and blue, okay? The stop loss is there to protect you, okay? The stop loss is there so that you don't lose more money than you want. Because when you're doing this kind of trading, if you stay, let's say it breaks out, you place your order. Next thing you know, up here, when it gets to this point, it just drops and sinks. If you don't have that stop loss up, guess what? This is how much more money you're losing, okay? And if you wanted to know an actual percentage, you just lost another 80% of your money, okay? You don't want to do that. That stop loss protects you so that you only lost 19%. Okay, so out of 100, let's say it's $100, you lost 20 bucks. But that's what you need to do. You want to take the small losses so you can eventually get into the big gains. That's what's so important. So what we would do is we would ride this breakout. Okay, you would have a zone that you've predetermined or that you're happy with. So let's say we have our $100 order. Let's say once you get to have our order 60%. This is called the take profit or TP area. Okay. Now again, this is just a real simple way of looking at it. This is how I do it, but there's so many different ways to do this kind of charting. So boom, the order happened. I placed the order. We got into the take profit area, made 60% on my $100. That means I made 60 bucks. We take profit means that we sell at that point. Okay? Sold. Sold. Now, of course, it's usually not going to head straight up. It usually heads up in a pattern. So don't think it's going to look like a direct route. There's a lot of chaos in the market. And if you play against it defensively, you can figure out a lot of really cool ways to make money from that. So let's say, boom, you sold, okay? You made your 60 bucks. You're now $60 ahead of what you were previously, right? The stop loss is there to let you lose 60 or gain lose 20 or gain 60. That's the type of setup this would be, all right? That's the kind of stuff that I do all day, and that's how I make a few extra bucks doing my trading stuff. Now, that doesn't include my investing. This would be considered scalping, okay? And scalping is big with day trading if you want to make a few extra bucks. Let's try one more. Okay, so this is Raven coin. Now Raven already has, since this is something that I'm tracking, I'm gonna skip it. We're gonna go to something else. Let's go to Tron. So Tron already has some stuff down. I'm gonna erase it immediately, okay? Now, funny enough, a lot of altcoin follows BTC, okay? So you're gonna find that a lot of altcoin actually has a lot of the same patterns. This pattern is pretty similar to the last one we did on Mask. So, but let's do it anyway, and let's do the opposite type of breakout. So first things first, let's draw our lines, okay? Again, we're going to the peaks and valleys. So we're taking our peaks and we're drawing lines on our peaks. So this is our peaks areas, okay? These would be peaks. valleys, and we're drawing our lines on our peaks and valleys, okay? Now, we're not going into any specialty stuff, okay? We're just doing the basic triangles, basic patterns. I'm gonna get into more advanced stuff for those interested later on, but this I think is just the perfect way for beginners to just get a handle uh, on charting. So let's do a bear scenario, okay? Bounce, bounce, and then the breakout. Okay. So I use KuCoin futures for my breakouts for my bear puts. I know you can do it other ways. You can place option calls. You can do all kinds of stuff. I like to use KuCoin futures. They have a leverage system. I don't recommend using the leverage system for beginners. I recommend just leaving it at a 1x and then placing your sell order. Okay, so if you had KuCoin, go on KuCoin futures. Okay, this is going to be the example. We do the flipped opposite of what we did with mask. Okay, so we see the breakout. First of all, we have our alarms set. Okay, let's set our alarms first. Now I set my alarms like this. Okay, so you want to see where the most recent resistance and support lines. So I'm going to go over support and resistance a little bit. Support is at the bottom, resistance is at the top. A lot of times what we want to happen is we want resistance to be broken and we then want that to become support. That's how we know we're safe. Okay, this has happened with BTC recently. I'm just going to show that off. So let's remember what we were on. We were on Tron. I want to show that off. So this is me charting BTC. BTC is looking great, by the way. It's going to reach new all-time highs, I believe. So these are two trend lines that I drew with BTC. Do you see how now this hit on its own? Okay, this hit on its own as well. You see how it went? It stayed in the middle of this at this point. That's why we draw main trends and secondary trends. You can have more than one. It stayed in the middle. And I think once we get to this resistance line, this is a resistance line. This used to be a resistance line that is now support. Do you see this little touch right here? I was actually pretty happy to see this. See this tiny little touch right there? Okay. This broke out of the main trend. It then stayed in this area, the 61K area, and it just touched its foot on the 60K. That to me shows that the support is there for it to continue. Now, if we do go further, it did break, but it touched the secondary trend line. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want to see, an upwards continuation. And if we look at this as a whole, see how I have upward continuation already there? Because I do this charting kind of stuff all day. All day. I love this crap. So what I've seen on this has been an uptrend, and it's going to hopefully continue to be an uptrend. But we have these two major resistance lines that I drew. One was at 59,660, and the other one is the new all-time high. We broke the 59,660. We touched other trend lines, and other resistance lines that were broke became support, which means it should continue. That's where we are now. We have a new all-time high coming up real soon. Man, I just hope BTC keeps going. Anyway, I didn't want to get too much off track. I just wanted to show other scenarios. Let's go back to our triangle. So now we have our two alarms set, okay? We have one set. Current price is 0.099. Let's say it bounces around inside the triangle. This is resistance up top. This is support bottom. So let's say it bounces around more. It breaks the triangle. It then sets off your alarm, okay? Oh, my alarm is set. You can get it on your phone. You can get it on the desktop app. You can get it on a few different ways. But the point is once you have the alarm, you then know to go check the trade. Okay, so boom, the alarm hit. I know to go check the trade. Well, let's say it's just starting. Okay, and you're going, it's broken the trend. Now, normally I would look at the VPVR, which is the volume profile. I'm not going into that today. That's more advanced stuff. So let's just take it real basic. We broke the triangle trend pattern, okay? We're going to say, let's place a bear order, also known as a put. what we would do is we would then place our order here. Okay, we're going to make that blue. Okay, from there, let's say it continues. Oh, I'm sorry. At the same time, don't want to forget to put your stop loss in. Now, if you don't want to, now, if two things, if your exchange doesn't offer stop losses, what can you do? Set an alarm. This alarm system is like seriously the best thing you can do. So let's say this alarm broke and you just so happen you go, oh man, well, I don't have a stop loss system on this exchange that I'm using. What do I do? Okay, so you want to set an alarm in the stop loss area. So now we have an alarm that's taking the place of our stop loss. This way, if price does fall, you get an alarm, you can sell and get out before you lose too much money. That's the idea. Whenever you're placing these orders, you want a bigger chance to make money versus losing a little bit. This is usually shown in boxes. I do boxes a lot. So I'm just going to show, I'm doing this wrong. All right. So after the order is placed, this would be considered your loss area, okay? That's why you have the alarm there, because anywhere that falls back into this zone, get out. Just get out. You lose a little bit, so what? This is all profit zone, right? So anything that happens after price falls and then continues to fall, let's say it goes there. Now let's say it's fallen, okay? You've placed your order. You've now, price has gone down 40%. If you place your KuCoin put, you've just made 40% of money plus because you're betting that it's going to fall. You understand? You can bet longs or shorts. Betting a short meaning is that you think the price is going to fall, and if it falls, you make money. So let's use this as our take profit area. Boom, price hit that area, and guess what you did? You decided to sell, and you decided to make your 40%. And that's it. That's the basics of what you're looking at with chart patterns. There are so many different types of chart patterns. I just want to go over. I just want to go over some. Okay, so this is what we were working on today. Okay, triangles. Triangles are really important because triangles are like the most common thing you're going to see. Okay. But double bottoms, double tops, falling wedges, inverse head and shoulders, there's all kinds of patterns. The more you learn these patterns, the more you can identify them in the price action, the better you're going to get, the more potential money you're going to make. And that's it. That's what I wanted to show today. I'm going to be making these videos more often. I do have a Venmo that's in the description. If you guys wanted to toss me a tip or two, the more that I get tipped, the more I'm going to make these videos more often, I should say. But I still plan on keeping this going because I enjoy teaching about this, and I hope you guys enjoy learning about it. That was pretty much our video for today. Those were basic trading strategies using some simple triangles. I'm going to go over a whole bunch of stuff in the future, and later on I'm going to be going through how you can ask to have something charted. We've got the Conquering Crypto website. I'm also on Twitter. I think the name is DeMarco Danny on Twitter. That's also in the description. But yeah, you guys can find me all over the web. Come join our trading group, learn something, because I'm telling you, it's better if you learn this stuff instead of just, throwing money on dog, throwing money on AMC. Learn about reading the chart along with it, and you're going to do even better. And that's all I got for now, guys. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed. Take care.